How thrilled I am to be in a crowd of pioneers, promoters, practitioners of this form of renewable energy, the thermal solar cooker, that I call on the low end of the sexiness scale and on the really high end of the kind of paradigm change that the whole world needs to make in order to become a sustainable world. And so I'm really thrilled to be here. Thank you. And let me take you to, first of all, I'm Susan Kinne, been in Nicaragua for 25 years. Started out ready to do whatever the National Engineering University needed me to do with their students, and my students led me into renewable and especially solar. And I will then take you to the story that comes to this convention, which is edutourism, a model learned from Grupo Phoenix in the community of Sabana Grande, and the lessons that we have learned. Is this microphone working right? Are you hearing me well? Very good. Okay. In this picture, we have a really representative. Lessons learned, synthesized, you will find in the paper, in the publications. I will tell you in the story form, in which I will trust audience intelligence to synthesize out some or pick out the examples of what's going on in here. Here in this picture, it's a good representative one, because we have a woman from the village here, in northern Nicaragua, war-torn, poverty-stricken, drought-stricken, all the natural phenomenon happening there, but people really willing to participate in advancing their own life and becoming a model for others. This woman does not read, but she is an innate scientist, investigator, researcher, and she, right here in this picture, is a kind of a culmination of the cultural technology. She is presenting to a group of international judges and school teachers and things from her community her plate in the solar cooking competition, being able to show how much wood she made with the solar cooker, how to do the recipes, and it's healthy as well. This village began, and the point of the story is something that can be done in other places with other types of things that happen. But in this village, this began with a project for reinserting landmine victims into society in a socio-economic manner. And the grantees to us, with a small grant, wanted us to help create solar jobs for the people affected by landmines. It developed into, in this village, it was supposed to be making the photovoltaic panels, which we still do. But alongside of it was receiving solar cookers from another place. The women in the village wanted to be able to make their own solar cookers and started in the carpenter's workshop making their own solar cookers right here. They wanted to be part of creating the technology. As women were using the solar cookers, they were also adding to what we were able to share with them from what we knew. This woman, whose daughter received one of the first solar cookers, began roasting solar coffee. Normally, the coffee is exported, the best coffee. What stays is green, bitter over the traditional method of the comal, the plate over the fire. She discovered that by solar roasting it, it became more mellow, more flavor stayed in. That led us, this is the lesson learned, that led us to understanding and seeing that within a community, technologies can be advanced and developed, and those are the things that we can spread. As indeed in her community, everybody began roasting coffee with their solar cookers and it's done more than the few examples that we brought with with us to it. In this example, we ended up doing a paper for an ACES convention in Denver, I believe, in which we presented the actual science behind why the coffee in the solar cooker came out better than over the Comal. And that also led us to the form that we use now, which is our edutourism, and what is the gist of this presentation. There you have young people who are now in college with their mother doing the measurements, learning how to make the quantitative measurements. And that led us into this knowledge cycle where combining universities and scientists from the world, and I'm hoping to find a few volunteers or interns here who are interested in coming down, who are solar enthusiasts, solar cooker enthusiasts, to help keep our solar cooking enthusiasm going. But we have people from universities with the community. The community adds a lot of observation skills and practical, and the scientists and students, interns, etc., add the process to be able to make it repeatable in other places. In this picture, we have a professor from our local university, a student from the University of Dayton, a student from the University of Cornell at that time, and the women who make the solar cookers, and in this part, which we're in, we have the other women who are users of the solar cookers and the teachers. We had just gone through a thermodynamics workshop being taught by that professor, but very accessible. There again is, on this side is the woman who doesn't read. And it is after that workshop with all the science using and related people in the community, we designed together this solar dryer, direct solar dryer. This led to being invited to another grant, and the grant was for making for having a solar cooker workshop. In that process, to the local participation led to it being made of adobe, the women making it, and it became clear that rather than just selling the solar cookers or selling the solar panels, which we still make in the community too, photovoltaic panels, that by interacting with the world, we could actually make our living too. And the people in the community teach hands-on skills and do exchanges through which they become more scientifically empowered, and it is now a community that teaches other communities in the same types of situations that they're in, and works with the local area to help them learn. Through that, they won a solar restaurant, and so it has become a small business incubator too. There are now 7 groups in the community with different forms of making income through what they know and what they're able to do. And we also have had projects where we work with high-level scientists, young men doing his doctorate on the solar autoclave, being able to sterilize hospital instruments within solar cookers. And we also do photovoltaic distilling solar distilling for water, for batteries, etc., from instruments that have been made in these processes. And the other groups in the community have different technologies that they use, and that's a condensed version of edutourism in a community that can be an example for other people. Not patented, rather encouraged for other people.